the US-backed Pakistani government is now abducting and arresting family members of political activists whose only involvement in politics is that they are related to people who are here in the West, the United States, Canada, or elsewhere, and are lobbying the United States government in order to pressure Pakistan to respect human rights over in Pakistan. We put up this first element here. This is, Mashwan Azhar says, that is the first time in the history of Pakistan that brothers, mothers, sisters, wives of political activists are being harassed, threatened, and abducted. The statement from PTI Canada adds, this vile and cowardly regime has sunk to the lowest depths of depravity. Instead of addressing legitimate political dissent, these spineless tyrants target innocent families, crossing every conceivable line of decency and humanity. All right, to talk more about this, we're going to be joined now by Dr. Shahbaz Gill, who was the chief of staff to former Prime Minister Imran Khan in Pakistan and is now his media advisor here in the United States. Dr. Gill, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ryan, for having me.
And before we get into the broader political context here, you update us on your own personal situation. You were, how is your brother? Have you heard from him since he was abducted just days ago?
Right, no whereabouts actually. Between the night of 8th and 9th of June, he was abducted from Lahore. We do not know about his whereabouts. His cell phones are completely off. His vehicle disappeared, and of course he disappeared. Nobody knows who took him away, where they actually abducted him, like he was leaving from his home to Islamabad, another city. And during this journey, they abducted him. So this is a regular practice right now, actually, to silence people. That has been done. And we have never seen, as you already read the statement of Azhar Mashwani, that this is the first time we are witnessing in Pakistan that any regime is going this far, that they are actually attacking your families. I've been threatened before this disappearance. I've been threatened in US. I've been conveyed through middlemen, through intermediaries, that I have to be silenced. I have to stop my activities, which I'm doing for democracy, freedom of speech, rule of law in Pakistan, and especially the release of Imran Khan and other women in the jail. I was meeting US lawmakers, you know that. I had several meetings with other watchdogs and other people, and that was actually, I was protesting, of course, at different places, organizing protests with the help of my party people here in the US. And last couple of weeks, I was in Europe, in Denmark, Belgium, Switzerland, and I was planning to go again into several countries of Europe. And I think those are the things which triggered at once these are the activities they want to, they are unhappy with me. And then, of course, my daily vlog, where I update people about the current situation in Pakistan, political situation, what is happening. So it is, in a way, it's against the law here in the US that they are harming my family and then blackmailing me while I'm here in the US, that what I should do and what should I not do. So that is the situation right now.
Yeah, and you yourself are obviously a very prominent critic of the government. Your show that you mentioned is watched by millions of people. So there's no secret about what your position is. But what is your brother's involvement in politics at all, if at all?
I don't think so. Even if he has any social media account, he never commented on politics. He has nothing to do on politics. He's a regular person who's spending his life with his wife and 2 sons. One of his sons is very young and very attached to his father, like 5 or 6 years old. So he's very regular Pakistani person who's spending his life with his family and working day to day for his life. That's it. Like nothing to do with the politics. He never even came to meet me while I was in politics in Pakistan to my political office. Like never came across. Like families sometimes come to official dinners and other places, receptions where you invite your family. Like he never came across to politics ever. To my politics or any political activity per se. So he's not a political person, or he's not a media commentator in any way, like social media commentator or in any way. So I think it is purely, as you see, that it is just to anybody they see that could speak truth or make people aware. Because in Pakistan, there's a complete gag orders enforced on Pakistani media. Nobody can speak other than what they really want them to speak. And if you remember the case where I got abducted previously, there was a prominent journalist, Arshad Sharif, who had to leave the country, and later on he got assassinated in Kenya. So after that, situation was not the same in Pakistan. Most of the media people, for example, just to give you an idea, all the prominent media figures are definitely close friends, and I worked with them for almost 4 years in the government as a chief spokesperson of Prime Minister Imran Khan, later his chief of staff. Before that, I was in government of Punjab, working with the chief minister. So I worked with all these prominent media personalities and TV anchors, and I sent them a personal message about the abduction of my brother. And I tweeted to, normally practice in Pakistani media that people immediately condemn or give their opinion about such abduction or any wrongdoing. Majority of them did text me back over the cell phone, over the WhatsApp, but they never tweeted. Like, they never given their opinion publicly, which is a norm in Pakistan. Usually they do. We all reciprocate to each other. If anything wrong happened to anyone, we raise voice for that person. And even the situation is so worse that majority of our party people now, even they can't speak. Like my own party, the political party, majority of people couldn't even tweet. There's a so strong pressure over them that it's Azhar Mashwani's brothers or it's my brother. They cannot even come on the Twitter and tweet that one of our fellow party members, family member got abducted, and we condemn this. There's so much harassment, so much pressure on those people that people are afraid of speaking truths now.
Harrowing. And Shahbaz, I wanted to ask, maybe if you could sort of zoom out and give us the broader context of why it's so important for them to crack down on dissent, why they don't want people speaking freely and critically of the government. Why is that so important?
Emily, we need to understand first Pakistan. Pakistan never had an ideal democracy or even democracy, true democracy. It is always military controlled or military hatched democracy or military, I would say, enforced democracy, whatever you want to say. So Pakistan never had, unfortunately, ideal democracy. And everybody knows that since the inception of Pakistan, it's the Pakistani military establishment which controls everything when it comes to governing the country, majority of the time. But the real problem we need to understand about Pakistan, that Pakistan is very different than any other Muslim country. Pakistan, we have to go back during the British regime of 1857, people fought for freedom, a war, and then later on, it continued until 1947. So all the people from India and Pakistan and Bangladesh, today they are three different countries. Of course, at that time it was larger India. They fought for their freedom. They exercised their democratic rights. So the training is there. Pakistani people tasted like they have to fight for their freedom. So although that I would say that war is continuing, it didn't end in 1947 when British left. People thought it's complete freedom now, but unfortunately, Pakistanis never got complete democracy, and their fight continues, which they were doing and which they were fighting in during the British, regime. So I don't think people will be silenced. Pakistani people are different. It's not Arab Spring, like you won't see it like that. I'm not offensive to any nation. I respect everybody, but Pakistani people are different. Yes, they never had democracy, but it's not like it will not be a pulse behavior that they will speak for 6 months and then General Sisi will come and he'll curb everything and you will see complete silence. No, you will see movements like maybe for a few months they can curb and then you will see people again on the street. So Pakistani society's overall makeup is very different. So they have a very strong desire and urge for democracy. Pakistanis really desire strongly for the freedom of speech, and Pakistanis are very vocal when it comes to their basic human rights and their freedom of speech. So especially Imran Khan, who has given a completely different, I would say, flavor in politics. He came up with his party 28, 27 years ago with the name that Justice Party, and he told people that the biggest trouble is rule of law and dispensation of justice. If people get justice, like today, if courts can give me justice, or Azhar Mashwani and other people whose families got abducted, family members got abducted, if we get justice and those people who are doing these criminal activities, they could be placed behind the bars, or they could be slammed with some kind of cases. So I don't think anyone in future would try to do these kind of abductions. But our problem is that we never Pakistan was never able to prosecute such people. Rather, political workers got prosecuted, but such people never got prosecuted by the state or by any government, and they know that it's a free ride, whatever they do. So if ever once Pakistani courts really go to the level where they punish such wrongdoings, I think that will be a point where we will see a different Pakistan.
It does seem like the court system is trying in a halting and kind of feeble way, but at least in a way, to push back against the establishment. At this point, they've thrown out or suspended a number of Imran Khan's, kind of trumped-up prosecutions. The only one that he's still being held in prison for at this point is this really bizarre and embarrassing, kind of un-Islamic, embarrassing for Pakistan's government, un-Islamic marriage charge. And in order to kind of show that he's being treated well in prison, the authorities put up this, if we can put up this second element here, they put up this photo of the very cramped, solitary, windowless cell that he's being held in as evidence that they're treating him well. But Dr. Gill, my understanding is that you actually were in this precise same cell for about a week after you were picked up. Can you describe for us what the conditions are like there?
Ryan, I was in such cell for more than a week, actually, for a couple of weeks. So it's 6 feet, 5.5 to 6 feet wide and 9 feet long cell, windowless, a very small hole, which is also covered with an exhaust fan, a very small. That is for the light and air. And an open Indian toilet within this cell, within these 9 and 6 measurements, you can imagine. So if you take that toilet out, you end up having only 6 feet or maybe a few inches more for just to adjust yourself and sleep on that concrete slab. And they gave him a very thin mattress, you can see, which is placed on that slab. And that is also after a lot of public pressure and a lot of lawyers' pressure in the court. Because when I was there initially, and Imran Khan also, when he was there, he never got that even thin mattress. And I never got that thin mattress while I was in such cells. They used to make me sleep on the floor. So this is inhuman from every aspect. This is inhuman, the way they are treating him. This cell is is an embarrassment for rule of law. This cell is an embarrassment for human rights. This cell is an embarrassment for democracy. Like, he's the most popular democratic leader. He's an ex-prime minister, 90% overwhelming support with him, and people want him back as the prime minister. And he's been placed in jail in such a shameful case that he got married with his wife before fulfilling required, in their own mind, required time between the two divorces, because she got divorced from her previous husband and got married with Prime Minister Khan. And their case is that they got married, their case, which is not a truth. But if we even take their case, is that they got married after 48 days of her divorce from the previous husband. Supreme Court of Pakistan already given judgment in 1992 in another case where a woman got married within 39 days of her divorce, and they said this is a sufficient time period to marry again after the divorce. So this case is already settled in the courts, and even the religious scholars always, all of the religious scholars already condemn this behavior of current regime. So this is a mockery of religion. This is a mockery of, unfortunately, rule of law and Pakistani constitution, just to keep him in the jail. But Ryan, the most important point is that Prime Minister Khan has played his vital role, and he will be, inshallah, playing his vital role once again in Pakistan. But the way he changed the social fabric and political fabric in Pakistan, that is unprecedented. He has given a hope, and he has given people a new orientation, I would say, in the political landscape, where people want to speak even with more strength. People are not ready to buy. Pakistani military establishment was always successful hiding behind courts and hiding behind all this persecution and making it look like prosecution and making it look like that politicians are incompetent, they are corrupt, they are compromised, they are not honest and patriot with Pakistan. So these were the charges. And sometime, if need-based, they go after a character assassination and their family members and all those things. But they were never, open in the field in front of the people that they are the one they are doing. Everybody knew that, but there was no admission. There was nobody accusing them directly, and they were not answerable directly to the people of Pakistan. What Prime Minister Khan did, and it's very brave of him, that he called them out in the public and in the open, that it is you who is behind all this. So this is the first time military establishment is feeling real pressure and real criticism. And public accountability, of course, not in any court, but public accountability in the court of public. Everywhere people opinion is now crystal clear that this is the military establishment who design the make and break of the political governments in the Pakistan. And when they do not like somebody, they either remove them through court proceedings, or they remove them through infamous vote of no confidence and such tricks.
And Shahbaz, how did you escape that? How did you get out of Pakistan?
Emily, that's prior to May 9th, which was another orchestrated operation against Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. After that, everything changed, like courts' impact and I would say courts' orientation also changed. Now, courts are very, very limited to their ability to provide justice. But before 9th May, we were having at least, and until then, Prime Minister Khan was not got arrested, and he was also getting some kind of relief from the courts in terms of bails and other stuff. So April last year, like 2023, March and April, I went to court. A prominent TV anchor, Imran Riaz, and myself, our cases were in the court, and Lahore High Court permitted me to leave the country. So Imran Riaz was able to leave the country. Myself was able to leave the country. Unfortunately, Imran Riaz went back after completing his Umrah. And I also wanted to go back on 16th of May 2023. My flight was booked, but then that 9th May happened, and the way they arrested Prime Minister Khan and they physically roughed up with him, and you have seen all that over the video evidence, what has happened when they arrested Prime Minister Khan. So after a couple of days when Prime Minister Khan got released, he told me not to come back right now because he could foresee what is happening and what will happen in coming days. So that was the time then it was decided that I'll stay here in the US and I'll continue my activities from here. But it was with the court orders of Lahore High Court, 3-member bench, a larger bench, which made me travel, or which allowed me to travel out of Pakistan.
And you mentioned Imran Riaz here. We actually, if you can put up the element F4, we have footage of him. This is from yesterday, headed to the airport and getting abducted. And you can see the way that these abductions happen. This is not, you don't see a lot of, you see a few kind of authority type figures somewhere in the background, but mostly these are all just plainclothes people surrounding his car. And they eventually took him. This is a journalist, very prominent journalist, who, according to all the reporting, underwent horrific torture, emerged from custody, seemingly a changed person, yet with intense courage, like you said, continued to speak out and continued speaking out from inside Pakistan. It's horrific to think of him now back under their control and considering what they could potentially do to him. And I don't want you to necessarily relive your own detention, but it's been widely reported that you suffered incredible amounts of torture as well. And I'm curious if from your perspective, was the torture aimed at actually extracting information from you, or was it to humiliate you? Was it to send a message to the rest of your party? Like, what was your understanding as you were going through it? And if you don't want to talk about it, I also understand that.
No, Ryan, I would talk about it. Actually, there's a history to it again. When Zulfikar Ali Bhutto got persecuted by Pakistani, at that time's Pakistani military establishment, they picked up one of his deputy, Masood Mahmood, I'm sorry. His name was Masood Mahmood, and he got picked up, and they, of course, tortured him. And then they were successful to take a statement against Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, of course, a concordant statement. But he appeared in the court against Zulfikar Ali Bhutto as one of their prime witness to accuse him that he was involved in a murder. And later on, they hanged him in that completely fabricated and completely, I would say, illegitimate legal case. And later on, after 35 years, Supreme Court of Pakistan now agreed and issued a verdict that that was a judicial killing, that was not a fair trial, that was not a fair case. So they were repeating exactly the same episode with me when they abducted me as a chief of staff. They wanted me to give a statement against Prime Minister Khan that he's involved waging war against Pakistani military, and he's involved in mutiny, he's involved in sedition, and he is the one actually who wants to create chaos, and he wants a civil war in Pakistan against the Pakistani military and a Pakistani constitution. So this is what they wanted me to say in the court. This is what they wanted me to appear in the court of law and give this statement against him. And then, of course, had I given that statement, they would make sure that his fate is similar to Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, what has been done to him. What had been done to him, they would repeat the same. So that was the actual purpose. So, of course, information gathering, or extracting information about the party work, and about Imran Khan, that was there too. But the main aim was to get a statement from me against Prime Minister Khan. So that was the main objective, to abduct me and then torture me. And, even I was facing trial and charges of sedition and mutiny, where I could face, and I still have that trial under process in Pakistan, where I could even be given a death sentence in that case.
How did you resist making those statements? I must be made of much softer stuff. I feel like, by the end of the day, by the end of the first day, I'd be like, just give me whatever you want. How did you mentally and physically maintain your integrity?
Ryan, it is, of course, a physical pain. When so much physical pain is given to any person, we are all human beings, and I'm not a terrorist or trained a criminal. I'm an academician. All my life, I taught in universities, worked into classrooms, research labs, and I was never trained for such kind of horrific torture. But then we have a faith in our Allah that once you go through such things, there's a reason you are put into such tests, and maybe that was a time for me to go through such a horrific experience, but actually it was a test for me to either I stand by my principles or not. It was difficult, I must admit, it was difficult. Many a times I used to think, okay, let's give it up. It's enough. And then I used to think, no, this my statement would produce a lie, a false narrative, and then nobody knows how many more will go through the same pain and same humiliation and same stress and same physical torture by my wrong statement, by my, I would say, a statement which would not carry truth. So that was the feeling that who gave me right to put other people go through the same just to ease my pain. That was, I think, one of the things which made me decide this. And then I emerged from a very small local village of Faisalabad. So I had a feel that if I would not stand up and if I would not show courage, people from my area will be embarrassed. Like this person was the deputy and hand-picked person of Prime Minister Imran Khan as his chief of staff. And even if I'm giving any statement which is a truth against my leader, I'm talking about any political difference or anything, even that would cause a lot of embarrassment to people, those who are close to me, people those admire me for my stance or support me for my stance. But speaking a lie, accusing him for something which he has never done, would be a completely shame for me and people relate to me. So those were the things actually, those made me think that I think I must bear it. I must let it happen what is happening. And I must talk to my Allah that give me some strength so that I can go through all this pain and torture. But end of the day, I should not fall through or should not bow down to the pressure that will leave me in embarrassment and pain for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I hope I never have to find out, but if I do, I can't imagine the fortitude that it took. But that's it's really interesting to hear the way that you kind of talked your way through it, and your faith and your also your love for your hometown and the people around them that pushed you through it. Shahbaz Gill will be asking the State Department about the case of your brother, no doubt about it, and the others who have been abducted, including Imran Khan. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing this with us.
And Ryan, I just want to thank you and your team on the behalf of entire Pakistan. You are a celebrity now in Pakistan, and everybody knows you. I think you are maybe one of the, if I would say 3-4 names in the entire world, from the Western media, international media outside the Pakistan. Maybe you are one of those 2 or 3 people in the entire world who Pakistani watches. They read your work, they interact with your Twitter, you know that. they give you compliments, they give you, and of course, there'll be some military regime-backed people must be threatening you as well. But I'm really, really thankful on behalf of Pakistani nation, on behalf of Imran Khan, on behalf of all those women, especially. I must not forget to salute and actually appreciate our women. Actually, they are the ones those are making difference. It's the first time in Pakistani history that any military regime put women behind the bar for such an extended period. And again, this is the first in Pakistan, the way they are responding, the way they are standing tall with all the courage and facing all such pressures and facing all brutality of the state institutions. But still, they are not giving up their hopes. They are not giving up their truth. They're not giving up their right to speak, their right to have rule of law and democracy in Pakistan. So I would say if one segment of the society is most admirable, more admirable than my, I would say, sacrifice, contribution, or anyone else sacrifice and contribution, it's our women and our journalists like Shahid Arshad Sharif, who got assassinated in Kenya, and he was nominated.
You make an interesting point because the United States takes so much pride in the way that it stands up for the rights of women around the world, but women have played an extraordinary role in Pakistan in the democratic awakening there, and have had the American boot put on their neck as a result. Thanks and thank you for the kind words, and here's to a better day ahead for Pakistan and for everyone around the world. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Hey, if you liked that video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Breaking Points.
If you want to see the rest of Counterpoints, go to breakingpoints.com to become a premium member and get the full uncut show every morning in your inbox and on Spotify.